Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis. And up top with me today, we have Michelle. How you doing today, Michelle? While I change what's going on here, because I'm an idiot. Go on, keep talking.
I'm doing great. Honestly, awesome, exciting episode.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. I was on the edge of my seat for most of the episode. So yeah, I'm feeling good.
Me too. And what about you down here, Fanta? How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Yeah, this was a very interesting episode.
I actually really enjoyed. It was like another well-rounded episode. It got me all the different feels or whatnot. It wasn't as exciting as some of the other ones that that we've watched, but I think it's still in like the top 10, we'll say, of the 15 of them this season. Like, I think it was like a good, pretty damn good episode. It kind of hit all the points that we wanted to hit, All right, so this is Jose over here asking us, how are we doing tonight? We're doing super great. I realized that I freaking love the challenge. I was excited when I'm like, oh my God, the challenge is about to come. Like, it's coming on soon. Like, I guess I really still love the challenge. And so that will always be a thing, I think. You guys with me?
Yeah, and I mean, this episode, like, it just... the overarching thing that like this episode reminded me, which obviously we already know, is that was a perfect example of what separates the challenge from Big Brother or other shows. It's not a bunch of strangers in a house competing for money. It's people who have varieties of really different lengths of intense relationships because they've been coming back and back and back. And it's a different type of game. And that was showcased so well in this episode. And that's why we love it.
Yeah. You too, Fanta? Are you with us?
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like, I just felt like so many different things in this episode. And like, I don't know, I felt like this wasn't necessarily an episode where I was like, oh, I feel like really like happy and excited. I felt like kind of frustrated and like annoyed with certain people, but it was like still interesting to like see the dynamic. Like, I thought in my head, I was like, oh, this is kind of like the episode where like the wheels are like falling off.
Yes, exactly. Like, we know everybody wants to be there and everybody wants to win, and you still got to go in because you don't know what TJ has in store for everybody. So the episode is called Never Say Never Again. And now that I know how it ended, I feel like it's kind of still telegraphs the episode. I wish that they would just get a little bit more coy with their episode titling. But it was episode 15. It's the Battle of the Gold Skulls, basically. And so I feel as though we know that it's going to be all about Big T. Big T is the only one that's left in the season right now without a gold skull. We know that she has this interesting relationship with CT. And I know that Anissa is someone that's going to be at risk of going in there. And that Nani is going to be at risk of going in there, and since there's no Amber in there. So what do you actually think about Amber not being an option to be part of this late in the game?
I thought it was bullshit.
Yeah,
I know that this has been a whole thing the whole season with like a rogue agent. But at this point of the game, I just think that even rogue agents should be game for an elimination.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and just that the votes would be different, that like they're still considered like a pair on their own if it's like a girl or a guy or whatever. And even, I know that kind of ruins like whether or not, it's girl or guy, but they could still have that every week. And then you don't know if they're actually being considered or not or whatever. Like, she should not be safe at this point. She got such an easy elimination. And if she just gets to go to the final because she got to skip the final girls week or whatever because she was rogue, because we don't know if it'll be like one more male. I mean, I'm assuming it won't be just one more male based on how it went, but I don't know. I was frustrated. It should have been Amber versus Big T, really.
That would have been my ideal scenario. Most satisfying as a viewer. And the fact, even when we get to the airdrop mission for the daily, the fact that she didn't even get to participate in that, I don't think that is great for people playing the game, that they don't get to participate in certain things because their partner, like don't have a partner. I think that that's bad form in design of the whole season. Something similar is kind of not similar, but it's going on in I'm watching The Amazing Race UK or Australia, sorry. And sometimes when it's a non-elimination leg, they have the players like get a first class pass and they don't have to do the whole leg. The whole next leg they don't have to do. And then they just get to pick a name out of the hat and then start the following leg after that in whatever place they pull out of a hat. And I'm like, hey, I'm not just on The Amazing Race just to like get to the end and win the money. Like I want to participate in all these different things and work together with my partner and learn how to do certain things. And so Amber and any other rogue agents get denied the opportunity of having a new experience so that they can add that to their roster or their tool belt of like what they've done on the challenge. So I think that it's a poor game design, and I think that they need to go back and take a look at how the rogue agent should still be competing or have some sort of agency in the game. Like she just didn't participate the entire episode.
Yeah, I think they will change it. I mean, they changed some things from last time, right? I think they're going to make new adaptations for upcoming seasons for sure. Because it obviously just didn't really it didn't bring any excitement. It was kind of just that element of it. I don't think really works that well, in my opinion.
So we know that Corey and Anissa, they had their fling thing a few seasons ago, whatever. And the last couple episodes, all of a sudden, like, oh, she's like my best friend, and like I'm looking out for her in this game. And so we have another moment where Corey is looking out for Anissa, and they kind of hug. Do they have more of a relationship going on, or is it just like the two of them in the house that know each other the best? Like, what's going on there? I feel like I've missed something.
Honestly, I think that's honestly it. Like it kind of like took me by surprise a little bit too when I was like, oh, like you guys are like, but I think they're just like, you know what, like whatever we had, it's not a big deal. Like we're good, we're cool. And
Anissa keeps like really good relationships with people, and I think especially as we see in this episode, like the men that are left in this season are all treating her like garbage, like actual garbage. Even her own partner, and so he's the only person that like at least has more respect for her, it seems, which is like shocking, is Corey. But like out of these options of men, like they're all just so rude.
I can't stand them.
And yeah.
I honestly, like this episode, like that was a part of that's the reason why like this episode just kind of made me feel like a little bit gross.
Yeah.
But it is crazy that like if Corey was partnered with Anissa, like I would like to think that he would treat her better.
Surprisingly, right?
Then
when did Corey get to be the good guy? He's like the hero.
Daddy Corey.
Daddy Corey. So one of my favorite scenes was Big T working out with the barbells with Kyle, and CT's kind of watching on. And like it's like I know CT wants to win, but there's like the love that they do have. Like I do believe that he really cares about Big T. And when he takes her to the hallway to practice hall brawl, like it was just so endearing to me. And even when he says like he needs to figure out a way to get her angry, and he's like, the way you hit me right now is why I left you. And she just goes and I don't know if he kind of played into it a little bit, but like she knocks him over. Like it was really endearing to me. Did you guys like it as much as I did? I thought it was cute.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it a lot, but like as the episode went on, I just sort of like she's in love with him, and it's very clear. It's very clear she's in love with him.
Okay, hold on. But before you're saying that there is nothing of that nature going on between them. Like, I know. And so now that's what you think that the whole time was.
Yeah, I'm doing what I like to call a flip-flop. honestly, because it's just, we'll get into it. We'll get into it towards the end, like obviously with details, but I just like, it's so clear that she's like absolutely just in love with him. And that, yeah, I do think he actually cares about her. And I do think that he's like has this thing for her for sure. He's not going to pursue it outside of the game or whatever. But in the context of the game, but like he doesn't. He's back with his wife. They were like kind of broken up for a bit. But like it got a little weird for me as it went on. And we'll get into that.
Okay, I agree with that. Totally. And I'm saying that I didn't actually really see that, like, until you said that you think that she like really likes him. But the way that she like took him back and was like, oh yeah, like, it's no problem. And then like, she was like, yeah, he's really changed. And I was like, no, he hasn't. He's literally like, there's no change. So that was like one thing that I thought was very weird. And I just have this like overall weird general sense, like I'll get into it more later, but I just have this overall weird general sense that like he's just doing all of this stuff to like be nice. And he's not necessarily like, yes, I want to go to the final with you.
No, but we know he doesn't want to do. Like, I don't think that he's pretending like he wants to go to the final with CT a Big T at this point. Like, I think maybe before he was making it seem like that was the case, but I don't think so now. I think that's like that versus up.
I still kind of like, I think he's just like still putting on this like whole like show of it, and that's it's like making me like feel a bit cringe. Like
1,000%.
When I watch it, I'm just like, oh, like you don't want this, and like I'm just like, oh, like Big T, like I love her and everything, but it like literally terrifies me. I'm like, she's gonna get hurt, and it's terrifying me, and it's hard for me to watch. There, I said it.
She's gonna get hurt for sure. Like it's. I mean, he's also a lot older than her, so like, not that he's manipulating her in any way, but it's easier. She's more malleable, and hasn't as many life experiences to know that, like, yeah, that's a no for me. Like, you know what I mean? To turn it down. So I feel bad for CT, and Big T, but this is a learning experience as well. Like, this is something that she's gonna have to experience in order for her to become a challenge champion. She's going to have to get a thicker skin and being able to suss out situations a little bit better. So this is a weird training grounds for her, but yeah, I do think she's in love with him. I think that's a pretty good call. So back to Corey though. So Corey was looking out for her last season when she got put in the same situation, says Carolyn. Hi, Carolyn. I think it just seems out of place for me because Corey doesn't have any other storylines. So I think that's why they're just kind of like making this a big thing, because they don't have anything else to have him have a conversation about or have him have a confessional about. So I think for me, it's just because he doesn't have anything going on. It seems as though they're making this normal relationship mean more than it actually does. Not that it doesn't mean anything. You get what I'm saying though. You get it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Adrian. Hi, Adrian. That hall brawl practice legit brought me back to him training DM for pole wrestling. A lot of people have been putting those images side by side, being like, this is what CT does with people that he really cares about. So this could be how people fall in love with CT, right? Is like when the big bad wolf, like the bad guy, is tender and caring about them and looking out for their best interests. So it could be how people like DM end up falling in love with CT. So I'm wondering if that's unknowingly of him, his like, I don't know, his charm. Like that's how he gets the ladies, is by being gentle, soft, and in their corner and championing
for them. I think he knows what he's doing. Like, I think he's hip to it. I don't think he knows he needs to be painted in a light that's good. Like he's been on these shows for a long time, and he knows he's fucked up and he's an asshole to her half the time. And so he knows that he's got to like play that thing, get screen time by being kind of a jerk, but then making it up to them and being nice. Like I love CT, always will, but like, it was just, it's a little more obvious this time around. I think with DM, it was his
real
time, and he was young and it was real. And it's just, that's not what the situation is. There's like 20 years between them, and he has a kid and he's married and la la la. And like, Yeah, but I think he's endeared by her for sure. I think that when he says that, like, I think that's probably true.
You're gonna say something, Fanta?
No, I completely agree with that. I think that it is definitely a situation where he's doing a little bit of his own PR in the house, and like this is how he's doing it, and it's just kind of like, okay, whatever.
So that was your first eye roll. My first eye roll was Fessy and Kyle talking about how overrated CT is. Like I was just so annoyed. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Sorry guys, I'm swearing here because I was so irritated. Fessy, you ain't it. Like you're not it. There's no new school. Your school sucks. Like what they're gonna see, what's gonna happen is the OG season is going to go down and it's gonna be fucking epic. And everybody's gonna be like, I want to get on the OG season. I want to be an OG. Like, no, you need 10, 15 more years before you can be eligible for that season, and you have to win 4 times or some shit. Like, I was
and it was frustrating.
There was a couple of things about that conversation that really pissed me off. Obviously, Fessy for one, because I was like, look at you running your fucking mouth. You've never even won this. This is your second season.
You're not top dog anymore.
And then second of all, I'm like, Kyle, you are like, it's a joke like that you're a snake. Like you're a snake. Yeah, you're a snake, but you are really a snake right now. Like, why are you talking shit about CT?
Well, because he stole Killer Cam. So
honestly, no. But I honestly think, like, when it comes to Kyle, this is why I teeter with him.
Yeah.
Because I love his humor. Obviously, like the confessionals. I like certain aspects. And yeah, he is a snake. It's true. And I think the thing is, when there's a camera rolling and there's anyone talking to him, he's always going to say the shit. Yeah. He's always going to agree with you and talk shit about the person. He's going to. And I think when he's talking to CT, yeah, he's going to be like, fuck Fessy. And I think the reality is he probably likes CT way more than Fessy. No one in that house really likes Fessy, not even Casey. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I think that he was just kind of playing into it. And like, it's good for Kyle to have people have animosity towards each other and shit happening, because he'll always just like float on the wayside.
Well, and also, like, it would be ideal that Fessy and CT go in there and one of them doesn't come out. Great for Kyle. So I'm sure that there was a little bit of him, like, fanning that big, fat ego of Fessy. You know, Fessy, I'm stronger than you. I'm faster than you. I can do puzzle. And you've never really seen me in an elimination. It's like, you know what? In your elimination, you rub dirt in your buddy's eyes. Like, that's you in elimination, Fessy. Like, I can't even. I hate him so much.
I hate him. It just reignited the hate. Every week my fire is like reignited, but this week especially, once again, I was like, as if I couldn't hate you anymore. And I actually think I hate you more now.
Yeah,
I think that was possible.
I didn't think it was possible in this episode. I was like, oh, yeah, it absolutely is.
Like, and a lot of people are coming down, obviously, for CT and that move of Big T, but like, I can still like him. And there's something about Fessy that I just can't get over. Like, I don't like him.
I think it was described perfectly in one of my favorite moments, which was Nani, who had multiple great confessionals, as we know, this episode. But one of the first ones was when she said, she's like, it's an energy thing. He just has a gross energy and he thinks he's better than everyone. And unlike CT, he's never going to admit when he's wrong. He's never going to really apologize, and he's never really going to take any ownership for anything unless something involving him does well. Then it's all him. Like, he just, it's like he's such a bad partner. Like, it doesn't matter how good of an individual person you are. He will always get in shit when he has to work with people. And honestly, I think that he planted seeds for himself this episode. If anything, I think he's a schemer, and I think he's trying to get himself CT as a partner in a future Rivals or something. Like, I think he wants that.
Maybe Rivals
or
would
maybe
be.
He genuinely just thinks he's better, which I think he does.
He does generally think he's better. I don't think that he's smart enough to be thinking about a rival seasons, because he hasn't watched enough seasons to know that that's even a possibility, I'm sure. And yeah, like, and that's probably why I'm not vibing with him, is because there's people that I want to hang out with and who I'd want to be partners with. And like, those are generally the people that I want to see do well in the game and who I would want to work with if I were playing. And I'd be so like, not into that. Like, none about his vibe, his no lack of swag, his lack of understanding of what's going on. Like, it's just, it's the energy for me. You're right, Nani, you are right. Fessy's energy is sucks. Adrian's trolling me here a little bit. Also, Chantele, you have CT and Kyle left. Brace yourselves. Lord of mercy, am I gonna have to be like riding on just Kyle or just CT for this final? Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Who has Leroy? You have Leroy, right, Michelle?
Yep.
What she does.
Damn it. I mean, obviously he was in my top picks, but
I have Corey too, I think, don't I?
I don't care about Corey, but
You do.
He's still there.
right? Yeah. No, he's still there, but like I don't care about Corey.
I'm not looking that much better, so.
Man, oh man. Okay, so the mission, the daily is Spy Dive, which is not a lot of fun, we'll say, but like pretty epic. It's kind of standard, the challenge. Like every few seasons are going to be some element of skydiving. Michelle, how scared would you be to do this mission?
Dude, I obviously be fucking terrified. Like that whole chunk of the episode, I actually like felt lightheaded. Because I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, if I'm already in the challenge and I've accepted the fact that I'm going to have to do things that scare me and I'm already on that fucking plane and I'm attached to someone who's a professional,
you're going
to do something. What I would probably do if I was already in that position, which I never would be, but anyways, is I would keep my eyes closed the whole time going up because the window was the door was open, which is horrifying. I would keep my eyes closed the whole fucking time, and then we jump out. I have my eyes closed, and then I would slowly open them once we've already jumped, because then it's too late. I've already jumped. So then I'm screaming, but then I can look at the puzzle, So that would probably be my thing. And I thought to myself, if you concentrate on like the goal of the competition, it can take away a bit of that like anxiety. If you're just like, okay, I'm looking at a thing and I'm memorizing it. I feel like maybe it could help, but I'd be fucking dying, like honestly.
What about you, Fanta? Are you going to be big T levels of? I don't even know if that's anxiety, like terror, fear.
God, that's what made me ill when I was like, oh my God, she's gonna faint. I was like, this is how this episode is gonna. She's gonna faint. Like she's done. That made me.
She looks scared.
I wouldn't. I've been skydiving before, so I wouldn't be at that level. I recommend it. I'm not like, I don't love heights, but it doesn't feel that way. Like I think it's a good idea, Michelle, to like close your eyes, but the scariest part of skydiving is like that like couple of seconds when you're falling out of the plane. Because you're just like, your body
counterintuitive.
Counterintuitive. Your body is like, what the fuck? Like I'm falling out of this. And then when you realize like you're just like floating, you're like, oh, this is fine. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm like above the earth right now. This is crazy. And like Leroy said, it's like, this is like the most, like you would never get a view like that. Like it's the most beautiful thing in the world. And you're not like, it doesn't feel like you're going down that fast. And especially there's a part when you're like about like, when the parachute gets pulled and you're just like kind of coasting, it's like the loveliest thing ever.
I would do it. It's something that I would probably do. I did watch on The Bachelor this season, a girl got kind of hurt skydiving. So then it was making me feel like, oh, maybe I don't want to do it.
Same with Jordan.
That's true. Jordan got hurt as well. I just don't know if I want to break a limb. I've never broken a limb before. It doesn't seem like something that I want to, it's not on my bucket list. But I went scuba diving and I hated it, but it was really gorgeous. Like, and it was like that whole 360-degree aquarium gorgeousness, whatever, super cool, but it wasn't fun. So I think though I'd have more fun skydiving and seeing the beauty of like being up top than I did scuba diving. So I don't think I'd be as scared as those people. And I also like roller coasters and rides, and I'm not scared of heights. So I think I would still do it. Yeah, I do it for fun, probably.
How are people not scared of heights? Like I don't even consider that one of my biggest fears, because I'm like, isn't that just like a baseline fear? Like I just don't understand how people aren't scared of heights. Like
Well,
it doesn't
okay.
make sense to me.
Like, what is it? How do you feel being scared? Like, I'm just like, oh, I'm up high. Like, I'm not like, I don't know I don't know what it
I
feels
feel like
to be scared of
physically
heights.
ill and like shaky.
Oh,
and
no,
like
no. No, not at all.
Yeah,
Like,
somewhere in between the two of you. Like, I get that when you're like looking down sometimes and you're just like, oh, no, thank you.
Sometimes I do that to scare myself a little bit, but like it's just to get that little like kind of feeling. But like I'm not actually scared of heights. So it's interesting because like that's something that you live with, but I don't live with that at all. So since what's her name, Anissa and Kyle, they won the previous challenge, they're able to choose the order of how people are going to jump out of the plane. So what this mission is, they jump out of the aircraft, they fall, and then when they're kind of gliding to the ground, they have to see a color code of 9 pieces, different colors. When they land, they're going to go and then run and solve the key at the end. Now, I feel as though the puzzle was quite simple. I think it would have been maybe more, there would have been a bit more of an equalizer if they had to put it in a certain order. They just had to remember the pieces in order. I don't know. There had to be, wish there was something, another element of the puzzle instead of just recreating something, because then it actually just came about the half-mile sprint. Like it didn't have to do anything with the skydiving, and it had nothing to do, well, other than like memorizing the color code. And then, but it just came about the sprint because there's people that knew the code that didn't get to the board in time. So I feel like that needed to be workshopped to be a little bit more cohesive and a little bit more fair in the sense that like they all jumped out of the damn airplane. Like I wish that they all still had a chance to solve the puzzle. So that was my annoying part about that thing. So the order is, so they have Leroy going first, because I guess Anissa knows that Leo is going to be pretty scared. Then Casey. And then Anissa and Kyle are going to be in the first plane. And then out first of the second plane is going to be Big T, then CT, Nani, then Fessy, Corey, then Cam. I mean, the order is fine. Like nobody seemed to be really mad at Anissa for that order, but I was surprised that she put Big T first. She does say that she didn't realize that she did that, but like
I think she just didn't realize that she would, that like until she went up, that like, oh, whoever's going first is like at the door that's open, that like you have to look as you're going up 15,000 feet. So I think that like, yeah, she wanted to go first, but if she thought like you can't see, you know, because I feel like if Big T had been in the back of the plane, she wouldn't have known how high she was going. And then it's kind of too late. And it's like, oh no, but you're going down. Whereas she had this whole time to be like, wait, higher, it's going higher. Like for me, I would be like, no. But if I couldn't see, and then it's too late, you're already falling, and then you just got to deal with it, you know?
Oh my God, I wanted Big T and CT to win this one so badly. I was like, please. I just hate when the big annoying alliances get their way so often. I just wanted them to do well. So I was curious though as if they were going to be able to look out the window. We learned after that point that they wouldn't be able to see the color key until they're pretty close to the ground. So Leroy plans to keep his eyes closed, but that was obviously changed a little bit with the fact that they're making them scour the ground for the color code. Okay, so people, when the first plane goes up, people are joking around with poor Big T, and she is not having it. You're shaking your head, Fanta. What are your thoughts about their approach with Big T here?
Well, I think it's like it's all fun and games, and you know, everyone kind of like, because normally like back in the day, people would make fun of Leroy about like swimming or like whatever, but Big T literally, like the color was gone from her face. She was like a shell of a human. And I was like, maybe not this time, you guys. Like maybe this is not the best. And then like Fessy doing it. And like Fessy just being like, oh, like it's not that high. Oh, actually, wait, I guess it's going up like about 1,400 more feet. I was like, you're not even funny. Like, this isn't funny. You just suck. And then like bullying her on top of it, which is like really shitty. Like at the very
worst kind of person. Worst kind of person.
Says it's like, at least if you're gonna like make it funny, but you're just a piece of shit.
Honestly,
Yeah.
every time I think about him, I'm just like more angry, and I just
Angry.
oh,
It's the worst. It's the worst. Hate him. So Anissa was pretty calm when she went down. Leroy.
I love the way she landed.
Yeah,
Oh my
her
God.
Landon was pretty just like and same with Leroy. He had a pretty smooth, like little skippity skip landing as well. I was pretty impressed by that. And all you could hear is like Kyle scream like ah! Ah! Like he was definitely not as calm, cool, and collected as both Leroy and Anissa was. And I was happy though that Leroy, he was pretty scared. He's saying that he's almost as scared as Big T. And I thought that he handled it quite well. So I was impressed with him overcoming that. And then they have to do the sprint. So they wait for all four people to land. And it seems like they were able to lose their adrenaline or momentum of like that experience of being in the plane and then run for half an hour and just recreate the puzzle pieces. So it was pretty underwhelming. Anissa is not going to outrun Casey. So wouldn't you think that Anissa would have put herself up against somebody that she could beat in a running race? Like, it would have been a better idea for her to go up against Big T and CT here, I think. Is there anybody else that's better?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, she still wouldn't have won, right? Like, she could have been faster than Big T, but she wouldn't have been faster than the person on the other ground. So it doesn't matter. Like, yeah,
That's
she would have gotten to do the puzzle, but she wouldn't have had the fastest time ever. So
I forgot that part. Yes, that's true. But so that's another thing, though, that kind of sucks is that even being good, like you're only as good as your partner, and B, like everything else leading up to it doesn't matter because it's also there's another heat where somebody could be faster than you. So I don't know. I liked all the elements of this. I think it just needs to be workshopped again. There's just something missing for it being like competitive in a way that like I appreciate and enjoy. So yeah, Casey and Leroy seem to win that without even Anissa getting to the puzzle. It seemed pretty easy for them to do. And so this is Big T's chance now to conquer her fear. This is what she's saying. Like, this is how she's kind of talking in confessionals with CT, and CT's like, yeah, we're just like falling to our imminent death here. And she's about to agree with him, and then she hears what he says. So he's able to chirp her at least in a way that she's kind of laughing, even though she's terrified. But the way that Fessy does it, you're just like, you don't even know her well enough to be like, to say things like that. You're not even a good enough person sometimes to say things like that to her. Like, get out of here. So yeah, Anissa thought she was just sabotaging CT here, but really she was also sabotaging Big T by putting her going first. But she goes out. She does it. She was kind of flailing a little bit in the beginning, and then she kind of settled in and she got calm and she was able to take in the view. And I was so proud of her for allowing herself to overcome the fear and then enjoy the experience. So did you guys, Fanta, as somebody that has had that experience, did you know what she was going through there a little bit?
I mean, when I went, I wasn't like that bad.
I know, but it's being like the moment where everything went clear.
But of her like having and being like, oh my God, like, wow, I did it. Like, because it is a pretty amazing feeling to be like, I just jumped out of a plane, like over top of the earth. That's pretty amazing. So yeah, I was glad that she did it. I just have overall nervousness with Big T. So
it's true. Could you see the serenity in that moment, Michelle? Or were you just like, still, this is like, I would never do this on my free time type vibes? Wait, you're muted, Michelle. You're muted. Still interesting. Oh no, you're actually muted now. What happened? What happened? Your mic decided to like stop working. You're muted on the actual StreamYard right now.
I know.
There
Can you
go.
hear me?
Yeah. First time,
sorry, guys.
It's our first time.
Technical difficulty. Honestly, I had a moment where I was like, I was like, you know what? Because there was a moment where I thought she wasn't going to do it. I really did. And then I was like, if I was in that position, I would definitely not do it. But then I was like, how epic would it be to just do something like that? Like for me, it would be as big of a deal as it was for Big T. Like I felt for her because I was like, if I was in that position and I actually did that, it would be like I wouldn't even know what to do with myself after. Like I would just like break down, cry, like 1,000%. Then to have like CT fucking just yell at her after, I was just like, come on, bro. Like
That was
not the right time.
I was so
yeah. He
so
apologized later, but like,
upset.
come on, dude. You know?
I mean, okay, so CT was pretty scary. He was admitting in confessional that it was pretty scary and that like he understands Big T being scared in this moment. And did you guys also notice how scared Fessy was? They showed it. MTV does not like him because they would not be showing Fessy like cutting out of the plane. Like he did not look like Mr. Cool, Mr. like I'm coming for your crown, your title bullshit. Like that wasn't the same guy that
he was
like,
terrified. He's someone who hasn't had the crazy experiences of the challenge of years and years. Like even Corey, who was like, whatever, he's done enough challenges that he was like, love your rider, like I'm gonna go. And he just goes. And it's like, he gets it. It's the challenge. You get like amped up with the adrenaline of like doing something that you're scared and being vulnerable. But
yes.
Fessy is incapable of vulnerability. So then it just comes out as a whiny little boy because nobody's watching in that moment.
Oh, I'm so happy that it was caught. I think I make a clip of that. So every time that we get irritated by him, we'll just put a clip of him like.
I subscribe to that 110%.
I'm actually gonna do that. That's how petty I am. So, oh my God, wait, who was saying that? Oh yeah, when Big T got to the ground though, CT, I think the guy that she was strapped with just was making like, okay, you can go now. Like, I was like, he didn't even like hug her or anything. Like, you think that there would have been some sort of moment because I would assume, had a little bit of training of what you need to do up there and like meet the person that you're going to be tandem to. What?
No, I mean, I just think that they probably like have done so many of those and they're probably just like, I don't want to like hold this person's hand.
I mean, I would hug that person. Like I would. I feel like you just like walked away and she's just like, I'm alive. I'm alive. Like that's all you hear Big T saying, and the guy just like walks off. Like, anyways, I thought it was a funny moment, but I thought that they're just
a job to do.
Hug her. This is an experience, man. And you were just strapped onto her. Anyways, I just felt that she just needed a little hug and a little compassion from that guy, and he didn't give it to her. So even Cam is recognizing the men on this season and their egos is off the chart. Cam saying that she can't stand the guys in their ego, and how Fessy on their leg on Fessy's leg just leaves or his partner leaves Nani, and like he just doesn't even watch and wait for these people. Like
no encouragement, no support.
Just like goes and just so he can be there, like, yeah, I'm here faster than you. Like you suck.
Because he has to prove that he's like a faster runner than Corey, or that like it's his partner that's holding him back. And it's like, fuck off.
Fuck off.
Like he is lucky that he has any partner at all that he can blame anything on, because in Total Madness, he didn't have a partner and he still was shit.
Yep. He couldn't get it done. Like, yes, Fessy screamed worse than Big T. Absolutely. Yes, and exactly. Big T did that even though she was scared. And I think that Big T is more of a badass than Fessy is. Like, she, for somebody that overcame their fears and wasn't afraid to show that she was actually scared and did it anyways and ended on the ground, and like, she just deserves a little bit more respect than whatever respect Fessy thinks he deserves. Oh my God. Whoa, wait, what? Liz B says, skydiving is awesome. I used to skydive regularly. I feel like it's something that if I did once, I would like to do it again. I've talked about it all the time. I love roller coasters and rides. I've always had season passes. I don't mind the feeling of like falling. So it's probably something that I would enjoy and do again. Oh my God, Liz is on our page. We're with you, girl. We're with you. We're so with you. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so in the second heat, pretty much like, wait, who was in the first heat again? Sorry, I'm forgetting how this went down. First heat is Leroy Casey, Big T, and yeah. Right. And he said Kyle. Right. Second heat is Big T and CT, Fessy and Nani, and Cam and Corey. And so Cam is witnessing like how shitty these men are with their partners. And I just wish that CT could have just held it in for just a little bit. Like you could just be like, Big T, like later on when you just talk to your partner about how things went down, what you could do to improve in the challenge moving forward. But like, he had to remember that she just overcame a huge fear. And then, she doesn't train. Yes, she doesn't do cardio. Fine. Yes, they lost this. But, like, just give her a moment. You know? I felt bad.
Yeah, I felt bad. And I equally was like, if you have to start walking in a half-mile run, you are going to gas out so quick in a final. Like, Nani wasn't super fast, but Nani would be able to run the whole time.
Yeah.
And like, or most of it, like in a final, like half a mile. And this is coming from someone who doesn't run. I would definitely be gassed out. Okay. Real talk. But like a half a mile is nothing compared to what you have to do in a final. That's the T. No matter what, you're going to have to run and or bike and or swim and or
climb a mountain, trudge through snow,
in more than half a mile. Like that's not long compared to what you're going to have to do. So like it is true. And she should be doing, at least as a smaller girl, the least she should be doing is cardio every day, because that's her ability. Smaller people like Camilla, like she won the season she won because she was good at running and like that kind of thing, because you might not be good at some of the other strength stuff.
Yeah. That's the thing. I agree with both of you. Like, I think, yes, it was like, I think it was,
hi, Nicole. Yes, her soul did leave her body. It did. Sorry, that's what Leroy was saying about poor Big T. Sorry, Fanta, go ahead.
I agree. Like, yes, it was shitty, but also at the same time, like that was like really the moment where CT was like, fuck, she cannot run a half mile. Like I will lose. Like, we're going to lose this easily. And if I put myself like in those shoes, like where you're so primed to like win, and like, especially the fact that CT like got in such good, got in shape again for this, like that's tough.
And they didn't have a relationship before this. Mm-hmm. So like, as much as they've built this thing, he doesn't really owe her anything besides human decency and not being an asshole to her, which, you know what I mean? But in terms of decisions of who he should partner with, like he doesn't owe her his fate in the final.
That's true.
In my opinion.
I agree with that. I just wish that he just saved that for later, because she knows that she didn't do a good job, and she knows that she didn't get to the puzzle, and she knows that if he got to the puzzle that he would have been able to do really well. She knows all these things, and so for him to be yelling at her in front of everybody when she knows this after she just did something that she really didn't want to do, like just save it just for 10 minutes, or let's be like, babe, like you sucked here. Like we have to work on something. Like we have to get your cardio up. Like just, I don't know. It just, the timing of it for me just kind of was a little bit too poor. So Liz thinks that CT does care about Big T, and he wants to help her do well. She personally doesn't think that Big T is in love with CT. I'm going to have to side with Michelle on this one, because I've always thought that there was some sort of love connection between the two of them. I don't know if it was fully reciprocated, as you're kind of saying, Michelle, on CT's part, but I do feel as though there is a more than friends energy that is causing me to be enjoying this connection, because it just seems like a stronger than just like a basic friendship, you know? There's something more there. So I do think that there's some more love. Okay, I don't even know if I want to read this. Natalie, Fessy says on his Twitter that he's thankful for his haters. It makes him a better guy. Oh, God, that guy is so annoying.
Actually, just like the only like benefit I can think to all this is that like with this kind of ego, he will never be truly happy.
It's true, actually.
Like, how can you be happy? You will never be satisfied because even if you win, like you're going to realize that that's not fulfilling because you don't have actual close connections with people that are authentic or real. And as he gets older, he's going to be like, oops. Like, I just think he's not going to be happy. And that's like my only solace I can find from all of this.
Well, and also though, like somebody that's that hard on other people, they're going to be way harder on themselves. So you know that he beats up on himself big time. Like whatever he says about Anissa or whatever he says that about himself in order to keep him in check to make sure that he does well or he does better or he pretends like he does well and does better. So, and that is a sign of a very unhappy individual that would need like at least somebody unpacking it, a therapist, a coach, whatever it is, unpacking like why he needs to be why he needs to be validated so much by his physical achievements. What does he not feel that he has inside of himself in order for him to think that he is good enough without being like putting other people down and being the best or whatever. So,
well,
yeah.
Ultimately, like I agree with all of this and I agree with Michelle a lot. And ultimately, I just really feel like, I guess it is like the NFL thing. Like he just really feels like he never got that definition of superstardom and success or whatever it is. And he even said it himself, like, this is the first time doing the show is like where he felt like he's like found himself again. But the way that he's like going about it is really nasty because he's like, I'm the best here. And like, I can control these people. Like I'm the big fish in this pond and everything. And it's like, yeah, like Michelle said, you're not being a nice person. And ultimately it's you're unhappy and it shows.
And you know, it reminds me of like, there's a lot of actors. We all of us are actors here, you know, and you know, some of those that have like the really big egos, but they never got that career that they were supposed to have. And so they're always trying to prove that they're really doing well and that they're the best. And like, they're not pleasant to work with on set, and they're just like a nightmare, but like, it's because they never got the validation that they needed. And these are all just like mini validations to feed their ego, but it's never, as you're saying, Michelle, it's never enough. And so I think it happens in all different industries, but we're just really seeing it on this show. And we haven't really had anybody like him on this show that I can think of that was just so seeing the shadow side of human nature and human behavior. It's just it's quite icky to see, and it's unfortunate.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
unfortunate.
And so no sense of humor. So like,
well, because
a asshole with a personality that's fun to witness. So what do you have?
So what makes funny is smart people. Do we think Fessy is smart?
No.
I think Fessy thinks he's smart.
But I don't think he actually is smart, right?
No.
Like it's a phony smart. And so, and also though, people that are actually funny knows how to take the piss out of themselves as well. Like they, not that necessarily that they're always self-deprecating, but like they understand like how to put themselves in a vulnerable position where, you know, they're going to make a joke. So yeah, he's not vulnerable and he's not smart. So I don't think he can be funny. It's not possible. Natalie's with you, Michelle, here though. She's afraid of heights, so she'll pass on skydiving. Mm-hmm. As soon as she just skydiving, Big T's soul just flew out of her body. Yes, it did. It was funny in a you know, watching a TV show kind of way. So 14 seconds separated the two teams that were able to complete the task, and that was Leroy and Casey, and it was Fessy and Cam that were Fessy
Corey and Cam.
I meant Corey. Fessy's on the brain. Surprise, surprise, though, Corey was able to help her finish a puzzle. So I don't know how this pairing will do in a final, but not a bad first working together experience. Right?
And like Corey, one of his strengths is running.
Yeah.
And we've already seen, you know, we've seen proof of that. He's like a pretty good runner, not the best, but he's like, it's one of his better qualities. He has speed. And I mean, he has enough endurance. Like I would say, like, you know.
Yeah, no, he's not going to quit. Like, I don't think he'll ever like stop running.
No,
Yeah.
no.
And so, like, even though we don't love Corey, like, he's still, like, in my opinion, a better competitor than Fessy. It's, like, shocking for me to say this, but, like...
No, hands
100%.
down.
I would-
And he's also, like, he'll also just treat his partner with respect.
A little bit.
And ultimately, I do think that Corey and Cam will, if they stay together to the final, I think they'll do well. And I really think that they'll both lift each other up. I think they have a much better chemistry than Cam and CT do.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Cam and Kyle?
Cam and Kyle have really good chemistry, oddly enough. Like, if somebody told me that like 6 months ago, I'd be like, boom.
But it's the truth.
But
It's the truth. So this is your jurisdiction now, Fanta. How was the 80s party for you over at the Dome, the Ice Pod?
There's no 80s party that could save these people. I was like, okay, I just hate an 80s party, but...
What? I love an 80s party. What, you don't like dressing up? Fanta. Wait, do you not like dressing up?
No, that's not true. I've had some of the iconic Halloween costumes to date. Give it a goog. I just don't like 80s themed parties. Don't at me. I just don't.
They were obviously reaching for like some entertainment.
I was like, this is okay. They're trying. But yeah, so they dressed up 80s. I love that everyone was like ripping on Fessy for like Corey was like, I don't think like this guy actually like knows like what's going, like he's got like leg warmers and like a tutu.
But he probably thinks that that's like funny.
Yeah.
A tutu on a guy is funny. Huh. Not. Anyways. What I really liked about the beginning of it, though, like, I don't think that they got the best outfits, but I'm sure, like, the wardrobe team over at the challenge, like, they're like, oh, we don't have any more pink turtlenecks. Like, let's give them some leg warmers and some neon things. That doesn't really say 80s to me. Give me some lace.
I just don't think I mean, this is like the first COVID season, so I just don't think they have, and I just don't think that there's much neon in Iceland.
Right. You don't think that they planned this before they got to Iceland? No? No. They're just like, okay, this is boring. We need to liven up
something. It can't just be, because there's less of you guys. It can't just be like you going to the Dome. So like, let's do this.
We need them to be in a costume just in case there's a fight of some sort, because everybody loves a fight with guys in a costume. Like, Is that what the creative team is saying?
I think so. It's like literally like it was the shortest club scene ever. I mean, they're just going to get shorter and shorter.
It's so funny though. When I think of 80s, I actually think of like more bandana stuff, like kind of like the vibe that Big T was going in. So like, crimped hair, scrunchies, denim. I think of denim. I do think of like tube socks or leg warmers a little bit. I like the workout wear, but I don't necessarily think of neon. I don't think neon when I think of 80s, really. Not really. Isn't 80s, 90s is more neon, isn't it? Oh, I don't know, but I don't really think of that. I love the fashion show montage. I thought that was cute. Finally, like it took me out of the challenge and into like them just being goofy and taking photos and having a little segment there. So we see Anissa talking to Corey about potentially trying to get Nany to be the house goat. I thought that was a good strategy, and she should have made that fucking happen.
Couldn't have though.
I know, she's too well set up.
I think it was like her best play for sure. But even if she was able to get, Corey to vote her way, there was just certain people who were never going to vote that way.
Like not even Kyle.
Not even Kyle, not even your own partner. CT and Big T were never going to vote your way. Like Nany wasn't going to vote your way. Fessy isn't going to vote your way. Like Anissa, at this point, even though I think socially she did a decent job this season, she just she wasn't going to be able to do it, which was like unfortunate. But I mean, the reality is that she is just so in her head about this same thing constantly happening to her that she's her own worst enemy. And the truth is she should have been taking that time to like get herself in the right mindset to actually do well, because I think she just kind of similar to what we've seen with like Darrell last week. It's like when you go in and you see a challenge, like you just give up on yourself immediately and you have that seed of doubt. I don't think there was like really anything she was going to be able to win no matter what the elimination was, honestly, except for maybe a hall brawl.
No, or the one that she won against, who was it? I don't think that she would lose in a lot of the challenges.
I think she's good enough to not lose, but I think she just already in her mind, like
she already decided that she wasn't going to be able to get to the final.
Like, and I get it. I would feel the same way. I would find it really hard not to feel what she was feeling, and I would have reacted much worse. She holds herself up so well when she gets torn apart time and time again and discounted time and time again. She won 3 challenges this season. Corey's won 0. She still has way less respect from the other competitors. It doesn't matter what she does. People are always going to tear her down. So I don't know how she handles it. I don't know how she comes back season after season.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like this has like been a really like top performing season for her, like in the new challenge. And if I were in her position too, I'd be like, okay, so if I do win this and then I go back, like, who do I take? Fessy's been shitty to me. Kyle's been shitty to me. Like, I know in my heart of hearts that nobody wants me. So can I really handle that? Another few weeks of that again?
I mean, I think at least if I were her and I went and came back, I'd probably choose CT. Because he's better. I think he's stronger as a guy. And if everybody's going to be mad at me for like not being a fast enough runner, I might as well have the strongest, I think, guy on his own in the house. And so that's who I probably would want to choose personally. And he's good at puzzles. So is she. They've been in this game for a long time, so he has a lot of experience. That's who I think I would choose if I were Anissa and I came back from the elimination.
I was thinking she was probably going to pick Corey, but then also might feel bad because like she actually cares about him and maybe thinks he doesn't want to be with her either. I don't know. I think her best bet in that case would be CT, but almost it's like, do you want to just do a fuck you and pick Fessy just to be like, fuck you? But it's like, she wants the best chance for her.
I mean, Nadia's probably like, please pick Fessy. Please pick Fessy.
Yeah.
Please. Okay, so speaking of Fessy's coming for CT's crown. So he decides to choose when they're going to the Dome to be the time to start. I'm just playing around with CT, talking about how he's washed up and he's old and, you know, he won challenges when there wasn't any there's no competition.
He literally won 2 seasons ago. Like
that, and he's like, well, like, who was it against? And I'm like, I've won once with like Corey and da 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 da. And he's like, and like 2 seasons ago who was it with? That was with
Cara Maria, Cam, Pauly, like.
Yeah.
There's no argument. He has only won in the more recent seasons. He never won back in the day
because he always beats someone up. Exactly.
Or break a rule. So, invalid argument. And like, yes, CT's reaction was stupid. Of course it was. But like,
but then also it was because sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Fessy's one of those people that riles you up. Like, it's purposely tries to like do that thing and then does that thing where he's like, why are you getting so mad then? And it's like, okay, yeah, true, fair. If Fessy said the same thing to Darrell wouldn't react. For sure. They're different people.
Well, no, he might react to that kind of thing though. Like
Darrell keeps it down like so well. I don't know.
He's had a couple drinks and Fessy's fucking annoying. Like, I don't know. I could see Darrell a little bit being like, bro, you're an idiot. Like I get
different. Like I feel like CT got so riled up.
But that's CT.
That's what I'm saying. Like what I'm saying is that Fessy purposely is doing this, but then is saying, oh, why are you getting so riled up? You brought the conversation up. And then he's like, oh, I was trying to compliment him. No, you weren't. You weren't trying to compliment him. You were trying to like undermine his credibility. And that's not what you do to OGs. Like, that's not what you do. CT and all them, when they were new, like Bananas wasn't doing that to Mark Long, to fucking the people that were there before him. Like,
no, there's respect.
There's a respect there at the very minimum, especially if you want to be well liked by fucking any of the viewers.
Fanta, what do you want to add in?
Well, no, I thought it was interesting, like, after that, like, because I agree, Michelle. I was like, oh, CT, like, you don't have to do this. But then I was also glad that he did start the fight because, like, there's just been nothing happening. But after he could see, like, he was genuinely hurt. Like, he was just like, I don't like being called, like, old and washed up. Like, I have been winning. And, like, I mean, all he could have, I guess, really done to end that is just been like, sorry, Fessy, how many of these have you won?
Oh, and like, don't you love Fessy's excuses? Like, well, the one that I was in, like I had to walk waist deep in snow.
You had to trudge through snow. Okay, when CT was partnered with DM, they still got second place on X's, which is better than what you did. And they had to trudge through snow.
They had to climb a fucking mountain. They climbed a mountain.
Shit. Kyle isn't even an athlete and he did better than you. Kyle isn't even an athlete and he did better than you. Bananas is essentially the same age as CT, has been on essentially the same amount of seasons, probably more, and he beat you. So
yes.
what like in what like world, in what reality is he living in?
Well, I think he was probably trying to get CT to punch him, so he's out of the competition. Like he doesn't want to actually go up against CT because if he loses, he doesn't know how to handle that. Wes and CT have both been the big dogs, but they've experienced losing many times, and they know how to be humble. They know how it's like, and they can still come back in with their bravado because they also knows what it feels like to win. And so I think that he was just trying to get him to punch him so that he would be out and he wouldn't have to worry about potentially going up against him, and especially in the final, but even maybe in an elimination. So it was just really, and I was so annoyed, obviously, when he was like, like behind all the girls and still saying like, well, like, why are you so pressed then? Why are you so pressed? I'm just like, get out of here. I was like, I don't know if I wrote this or somebody said it, but I wrote Fessy is such a joke. He's a joke. It's a joke.
Well, I mean, the one thing that like keeps me like, tries to keep me like more tempered is like, he will lose this challenge. He's gonna lose it, and he's gonna be like super butt hurt, and I just get to like eat that all up.
Do we know this though? Do we know this?
Well, no, I'm not saying this as I'm putting it into the universe, and Fessy is just not well read on enough. He can't.
No. And the truth of the matter is, the amount of tweets he's written about how good he is and about like, no, you guys are wrong. And the amount of times he's tried to address the hate he's been getting proves to me that he doesn't get first place. Because if he got first place, he wouldn't need to say shit.
But he's still that guy though.
No, but if he won, it would be a different energy we'd be getting from him in all these aftermath shows, in all of these this and all of these that, and all of these like tweets and posts. We wouldn't see the consistent energy for him to like acknowledge that, oh, I don't even care about the haters. Like, you know what I mean? So I just think that secures for me that at best he will get like second place, which would still be shitty.
Can you hear your yum 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 again, please, Greta? That's my favorite. So good. So tasty. Delicious. Okay, so we got the deliberation happening now. Big T obviously wants to go in there. She kind of has to go in there. I don't know if they would be able to get anybody else to go down just because none of them have a skull. So I think it would be very challenging if you were not in the majority to get somebody with a skull to be going down there. So it's pretty obvious that Big T was going in there. Now, another time when Fessy was annoying me was when, so Anissa was just kind of getting upset and being like, I've done this so many times. And she said some really like real things where she's like, I did the first pole wrestling. I did the first hall brawl. Like I did the first and I paved the way for all you guys. And I just want to get to a damn final. And then Fessy's confessional, he's like, well, like, you're not out of it yet. Like you go get down there and win. I was just like,
she's been in like 20 million eliminations. You've been in 2 eliminations. One with a guy who had one hand in a wrestling thing where you had to hold on to a pole. And the second one where someone's half your size and you just threw sand in his eyeballs and squished him to the ground and broke all the rules. So
and the only time he won this season to be a double agent was with Anissa. He hasn't won with anybody else, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. Why does he have more cred? Anissa's won twice with him, first time fully on her own, and won with Kyle once. Even Big T and CT won together. Like, stop saying this and stop giving excuses, because the truth of the matter is every daily challenge is different. And you just have to be well-rounded, and you're just proving that you're not.
No. Oh my God, it was so annoying. But I was like, you're the real one, Anissa. Like, I know that you don't get any respect, but like it's like real. She is real. Like, she deserves a chance to get to the final. They need to restructure it so that there is a way for her to get to the final. And maybe it's going to be that your partner doesn't matter, which would be fucking amazing for a lot of people in this game right now. And so maybe that's what will happen again. And so that it doesn't matter. Like, then they'll want Anissa there because like they want to compete against her, or, you know, have the chance of beating her if they're going to be competing on their own. So I wish that they were looking at it a little bit that way. Like, do you really want someone that's more competitive physically in the final going against you as a woman? You know? Anyways, I would think that she should.
They should all be terrified of Leroy and Casey.
Oh my God.
They are unstoppable. And not only are they unstoppable and fast and smart, but they get along. They work so well as a team. Like, they are the team to beat.
Yeah.
And because he has Cam on the side, doesn't matter who she's with, they'll be safe too in that moment. It's like, you should be terrified of this team. They've played a perfect game in terms of like who they're aligned with, how many challenges they've won.
Mm-hmm.
They deserve the win at this point, and you should be trying to steal Casey just to fuck up their partnership.
Yep.
I don't know why you're stealing Cam back and forth and back and forth. Steal something that's going to actually, like, if Kyle was smart, he wouldn't have stolen Cam. Steal Casey. I know they can't when she's like the double agent or whatever, but like, try to break that couple up. I hope it doesn't happen, because I want Leroy to get this win, and he will with her, I believe. But if you're smart strategy, like, why are you going to allow this perfect, angelic, amazing couple with no struggle?
I know. Well, so we see Leroy and Casey kind of in their little deliberation and seeing who is going to be the infiltrated. What's the word? What's the word they use? The agent. Anyways, they do talk about the karma about inside of the game if Anissa ends up winning, and then anybody that she takes, we talked about it a little bit already, is going to be like getting what they deserve. So I thought that was interesting that they recognize that how shitty everybody's been to Anissa, and she's very capable of winning. I would say a good 85% of eliminations. Like, she's capable. So I would have loved to see her win and come back and just like make some people eat their words a little bit and force people to have her be in the final. That's what I would have loved to have happened. So this was something that I didn't think of myself. So Anissa came to the group and she was saying like that CT wants Anissa to win, so she will beat Big T, take Big T out of the game, and then he would get any new partner, basically. Do you think that that's really where CT's head was at, with him wanting Big T to go in the elimination?
Yes, 110% I do. Like, and he can do all the song and dance and everything to try to pretend like it's not that, but he wanted that.
Yeah,
he was hoping and praying to have anybody else.
Exactly. You know, in that moment, even when we get to it, when she's like, "Do you want to be my partner still?" And he's just like, "It's up to you."
I know. I was like,
he didn't want her to be her partner. He would have said, "Please, yes, absolutely." Like, he's playing into this cute thing because this is the only direction he can be right now. He doesn't want to have the edit of a complete piece of shit like Fessy's getting. Well, Fessy's just getting an accurate representation of himself. But anyways,
yeah.
Agreed. I do agree, but I just didn't even think about it. Like, I just thought that like he did want her to go get her gold skull. I didn't really think about the fact that he desperately wanted Anissa to beat her. I think he just assumed that whoever she would go against was going to lose anyways. So she was going to lose too anyways. So I didn't think that it was specific to Anissa, but I can see where you guys are coming from there for sure. So the elimination is activated. They're going to the crater. We know that Big T is Big T and CT are going to be going down. Wouldn't it have been like really interesting though if they made it a male elimination, like just out of nowhere? Woo, that would have been.
I was kind of hoping for that.
I mean, I hope. Well, I'll tell you what I think about what's happening next week in a couple minutes. So they vote in, no surprise, Aneesa and Kyle. And you hear Aneesa be like, any elimination but this one, any elimination but this one. I'm like, oh God, if she says any elimination but this one and they keep it in, she's definitely going home. She also, we talked about it slightly, but not to body shame, but she has gained some weight. And so this is a very challenging one, I would say, to be holding your weight upside down. It's the fire escape that they're going to be doing, and it's longer. And it's on fire, kind of like it was with Jay and Leroy. And you saw how fast that they went at it. It's because they're long and, or not necessarily long, but they're lean men. And so they're able to hook their bodies and they can use the momentum. And she's just a little bit heavier, so it's harder for her to get that momentum. And so I understand why she'd be scared of this elimination, but I do think it also put the mindset up for her to not be winning. So I knew she wasn't going to win as soon as I heard that soundbite. I heard it. I was sad, but I heard it. So I thought it was really cute though when Big T goes and she like puts her hand out to shake Aneesa's hand before they do the elimination. She's so sweet. Did you guys notice that?
I actually didn't.
No, like before. Yeah, you did? Yeah. Like when CJ was like, okay, ladies, let's go. And she's like.
Yeah, just like smile. And I was like, oh my God.
So polite. So polite. And Big T actually really dominated this one. She wasn't super fast, but like CT would say, like, you don't have to be fast. You don't have to be fast. Like, just get it done. Just get the momentum going. What, Michelle?
I was going to say she did a better job than Ashley.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like she had the momentum and she was going faster than like Ashley couldn't get it done.
I wonder if it's like maybe her boobs are in the way. But like Ashley's, I guess, probably a little bit longer and probably a little bit heavier. Big T looks like she probably is like maybe like 5'2". Like she looks small and she probably weighs maybe like 115 pounds, maybe 110 pounds. So she has lightness on her side there and not too much body length. So she doesn't, and she probably has core strength. And so I think that she's a better person to do this challenge than Aneesa. And Aneesa was still at the beginning of the challenge when Big T went down and came back and actually won it. I cried for her. I did. I cried. I cried again for Big T. Why should she make me cry so much?
It was like one of those things where I was very happy for for Big T. And I was equally sad for Aneesa. And then I equally felt uncomfortable with the way CT was holding her like a baby.
I like
she's
that
looking
though.
at him like she's in love with him, like she's a little baby doe and wants him to kiss her. And then they kissed.
Oh, I didn't see the kiss. They kissed?
Yeah, it was just a little peck, like
on the lips?
I couldn't tell. Like maybe it was like a side. You guys tell us in the comments. I think it might have been a side kiss, but like no, that's when the whole thing. I was like, ugh.
Well, I didn't mind the lifting up because like I think he just wanted her not to be holding her body anymore. So I think he was just like lifting her up so that she's not like still like hanging on that thing. I don't know if it was like strategic for him to be like in the fireman carrying pose because it's like over the threshold with your bride. Yeah, I wasn't really thinking of it as romantic. I thought he was just trying to like save her arms a bit. What do you think?
Took all the words out of my mouth.
Really?
Thank you.
This elimination and post-elimination, I happy for Big T, sad for Aneesa, but also at the same time, Aneesa like did fully give up. And I think the thing about like the fire escape challenge is that once you get stuck, you just panic and it's over. And you absolutely cannot do that in that challenge. And like everyone like yelling, use your momentum and everything. And she was just probably like, fuck you guys. Like, and like, I'm done.
So Jose said, hi, Jose. Aneesa had mentioned that she would have liked any other elimination but the fire escape. Why do you ladies think? And would we have had a different outcome with any other elimination? I think that
she would have won anything else.
She would have what?
I think Aneesa would have won anything else. This is like
anything she could have
this
won.
Aneesa's like pure kryptonite. a challenge like this.
Yeah, it was definitely like the worst chance for her to win. I think Aneesa would have beat Big T at most things. Obviously a hall brawl, obviously the other one that she'd already won against whatever. I think like
maybe not that pole one where they had to run and then dig there. Well,
yeah, no.
if it was like the one that Teresa did where they actually had to like claw their way to the end, maybe she would have had more strength because she would have actually more like weight on her to be able to like use that against Big T. But if it was like the way that Corey and Darrell did it, Big T could have outrun her, I think. I think.
Yeah.
What other challenges do they have this season? I think you're right though. Those are the only two really that are like the only one that she's would probably do that badly in. Yeah. So one thing though Aneesa says on her way out, which Natalie is mentioning here, I can't believe teams of color have never won a season. Like, well, I can because like that's the world that we live in. But I think it's pretty awesome though that all the women there are women of color. That's definitely our first time. It's something I didn't even notice until Aneesa pointed it out, which I think is a really great thing, is that I didn't recognize that there were only teams of color as women in the final or like whatever the last couple episodes. So I didn't even notice that. And so that I think is progress, that I didn't recognize that like there's only teams of color left. So that's really cool. And that's something to be proud of. So thank you, MTV, for taking steps in the right direction. So just spread that over to your partner on CBS, and that would be great. Big T has a crush on CT, and he knows it and flirts with her to help his cause when it's in his favor. This is and
I'm saying like there's like some realness to it. Like as he says in the end, it's like, how could you not feel happy for her winning this elimination? Like, yeah, like you feel excited for her, but like he will leave her again if he wins.
Yeah, there's a chance. Yeah, he will.
He will do it again and maybe nicer. But if he gets another chance to have somebody else, he will take it, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Sure. Now, what if though? So what if the final is kind of like the one that Ashley won, where you are with a partner, but it actually deals with your own time?
I think it's going to be like that because double agents. Think about it, like fuck over your agent partner, but you still need them and.
Like maybe they're going to lie to you and they're not going to give you the code or something or whatnot. So because I can kind of picture it's so shady and I'm going to feel so bad when it happens. But I can see CT just taking off and leaving Big T, like getting to the finish line and waiting for her there. Just being like, I don't need to be motivating you to get to the end of the line. I'm just getting there fast because it's about time thing and it's about men versus women. I'm just going to get my time there. I'll meet you there when you get here. Because that's kind of how Ashley was able to beat Hunter in the end, was that she had a better time. She always finished everything ahead of him. And so I think that that's what he'll probably do. He's seen all the seasons. He doesn't know, people don't know the strategies like he does. I think that if it's going to be a time thing, I don't think he's going to allow his partner to F him over in times where he can make up time.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really heartbreaking, but we're going to be like, okay, well, we would do a lot of things for $1 million. I mean,
also like, I don't know, you are seeing the OGs, I mean, except for Aneesa, becoming more cutthroat because they're like, well, we don't really have that many of these left.
Well, maybe there's a lot left, though, now with what Mark Long has started up, because there's so much hype for the season, and that trailer was everything for me. And so maybe not, but yes, I agree with you. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe not. It depends. It depends on the person. It depends on the OG. But I think that if Big T, like, she can keep coming back. She's a fan favorite. She's a production favorite. And I think that if she really wants to win one of these, like, it would be amazing for her to train and just be like this little silent assassin.
Just come back and just slay.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine she just like started maybe like go and hang out with Jenny and like, Jenny, get me into shape. Like that would be so freaking awesome if that's what the route that she took to come back next season and just like get Jenny West training. Like, that'd be so good. And I would be so excited for Big T to do well and be like a dominant figure in the game. He's so awesome. And even TJ though recognized that I think that he was humbled, like, because how he was saying it, he was genuinely, I felt, impressed with Big T. He was like, Big T, you got it done. Good job. He said good job to Big T. Oh, shucks. So my one question is, I mean, I know what the answer is going to be, but why, oh, why didn't she freaking pick Fessy? That was the move. It was the move.
It was the move. And that is exactly why my whole thesis statement of her being in love with him is accurate, because she was in that moment. You saw her be like, this is a tough decision. Like, she is like, for him. And the truth of the matter is that what Kyle is saying is true. Because Kyle ends up with Amber, she's with CT. It's going to be them two again, no matter what. Whereas if she breaks up and takes Fessy, that kind of breaks things up. Nany ends up with Kyle again, maybe, or with CT. Like, we don't, you know what I mean? Like, she's not playing strategically in that way, but also like fair to her, because who wants to fucking work with Fessy?
Oh my God, like that's what I thought. That was my first thought. I was like, yes, strategically that would be good, but I was like, knowing how sensitive Big T is, and I don't mean to say like sensitive, but like knowing what her reaction was like when CT yelled at her after the skydiving challenge, I was like, she knows that would be 100 times worse with Fessy.
That's true, but like
Fessy needs to get back after and be like, let me help you train, like, let's do this together. He would just be like, you're awful, like, you're dragging me down, and he'd talk shit about her to everybody in the house.
Yeah, I mean, I think that she's probably was saving herself from being humiliated by another partner that doesn't want her. And so she already has something going on with CT, and yes, he humiliated her, and yes, like, he might do it again, but at least he's kind in moments to her, and she can work with him, and they do have a rapport, and she's in love with him. So yes, no, yes. So pretty much though, I really thought that she was going to pick, I was hoping that she was going to pick Fessy, but she decided to ride it out with CT. That's what her and CT are going to be. Big CT is back in the game together again. And there's 10 gold skulls, TJ says. 10 gold skulls. But we're far from done. What the actual F? This is not a good twist, TJ. Like, it's not MTV. This is not good. Like, give them the skulls. Let them run the final. Make the final 3 episodes. That's cool by me, and have people be eliminated on the way. But it's just, I find it's a little bit annoying to have a skull and not be part of the final. I know it's the entry fee to run it, but I think once they're all given out and there's 5 and 5, I think it's time for the final. Don't you?
I disagree, because I feel that it's really hard to get into a final a lot of the time, and people get fucked over at the last second. We've seen it a million times, and it's part of the game. Just because you have what's a qualifier doesn't mean you get to run it. And as much as it might fuck over some of my faves, like maybe Nany will get fucked over, I don't know, maybe someone I like will get fucked over, and I'll be sad about it for sure. And I would be fine if they all got to compete, but like, to me, it's like, to have a longer final and be like, okay, now you're going to be cut. It's like, I'd rather have less people and more of a chance for them all to try to at least finish it. That's like more appealing to me, I think. And I just think it's, I don't know.
What if there was only three and 3 skulls?
Then of course I would want them all. Like, I think just with 10, like normally.
I can agree. I can get behind this.
But my one more guy and girl should go home, and then it should be the final. I think 8 people, 4 guys, 4 girls should be in the final.
Fair. I can get along with that, like with that as well. I'm just saying, like, I wish that the skulls was the end. Like, when everybody has a skull, that is the end of the challenge part, and then we're into the final. And so I can definitely agree with you, like, not 5-4, 100%. like I just wish that the game changed when the skulls were all given out. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm saying. But yeah, I totally agree with you. 5 in the final, I can get behind it not being ideal. But yeah, I just don't want like another 2 episodes of like people with trying to keep their skulls. I mean, I guess it's drama. I guess it's gonna be drama.
I would really like a little mini purge before we get this final going.
I mean, there's 10 people left.
Just eliminate a team.
Just a little mini one.
Well, which team would you want to leave?
Double.
Yeah. Which team do you want out?
That's so tough.
That's so easy to me. It's just the team I want out right now is Corey. Wait, isn't it Corey and who is it? Hold on. It's
Corey and Cam?
Not Cam, sorry. No, I want out Amber. Sorry. Amber and who's she? Kyle. Fuck them.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot about them. Amber and Kyle. Yeah,
they don't need to be there.
Yeah, they will go. But it's hard because it's like everyone that you like is like put with somebody that you don't.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's like, I don't really like Casey, but I love Leroy and they work well together. I like Cam, don't care that much for Corey. I absolutely despise Fessy, but I absolutely love Nani. Like, it's just a hard combination.
So as Jose said, I feel like this season where we have seen the real Fessy. He was nice and all in Big Brother, and I'm starting to tell him that he's the type that won't let you know who he is until he slips up and shows you that side. Yeah, I mean, I think that he was just so dumb on Big Brother that like we didn't get a chance to see this because he was just so strategically bad, and he made bad decisions. And then his whole after show life was about his relationship with Haley, and so I think we're just seeing now the competitive side of him that we didn't really get a chance to see. Like, you know, he did compete well, like in like the slip and slide challenge and Big Brother or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, we're seeing his true colors for sure, and it's I don't like that color. Adrian says, it's honestly, I'm so excited to see how Big T has grown from her first season till now, and that's what I honestly enjoyed about watching this season. This is the whole season. CT was right. He said this whole season was about Big T's growth. And I do agree that a lot of it was about how she's done, like she's kind of been the through line for a lot of the storylines of the season. Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I think she's been, well, not the main focus, at least for the first half. She's definitely had a really good journey and consistent confessionals throughout, and a really good comeuppance of like her own frosty and realizing that she's doing things for herself and not for someone else. As much as, I mean, she tells herself that, I think she's on her way. And I think that regardless of what happens, her next season, she's going to come back stronger and even better. And I think she's going to be like a staple. And I like to have a nice, awesome female of color who's a staple, who's so like gracious and likable, and like no one can say a bad thing about Big T. Like,
yeah.
Definitely not. Okay, so sorry, back to Kyle though. I mean, I didn't know him and his girlfriend had their first child together. Michelle, you didn't give me the tea. I didn't see it.
Like,
no, it's not tea.
He has a girlfriend. I mean, Kyle, whatever. But yeah, they have a kid. Congrats. And who else had a kid? Ashley, Marie, whatever.
Oh, that would be so cute. A little onesie on the baby. Amazon definitely will carry a little baby onesie. Sorry, what did you say, Michelle?
I forget. Anyway,
wait, what?
Couldn't have been that important. I think I was just talking in circles, to be honest.
Wait, Nicole, I was just reading your comment. Is that like a real comment? Is that true? I don't know.
No, it's not.
Okay, she's just joking? Oh.
Wait, I don't know what comment you're reading, but I'm pretty sure it's not.
Maybe the turtleneck one?
No, after the turtleneck one. So, okay.
I'm referring to the actual daily, not after.
Oh, okay.
How Fessy left Nani in the dust when.
Oh, I mean, I thought that like there was like a next episode and like Fessy
no.
and left Nani, and I was like,
someone also comments later in the comments asking about this, being like, "Is it a spoiler?" And they're like, "No, I would never spoil."
Okay, no, that's what I was saying. Like Nicole would never spoil. So
no.
I was like, wait, what? What's happening? Okay, got it. And I have an echo from somebody. I don't know who. Uh-oh, echo. Okay, what other comments do we have going on here? Oh, wait, one thing I want to talk about is I watched the preview for the next episode, and they're in those like Tumblr, clear Tumblr ball things. It seems like they're in their pairs, and all I heard was, that sounded to me like Casey. So maybe this is the challenge where Casey sprains her knee, breaks her leg, or whatnot, because we both know that we saw her in a wheelchair at the airport.
I thought that happens in the final, maybe, but maybe it does happen next week. Ooh, that'd be some drama.
Like, Leroy, that's so bad for Leroy if that's the case. But
I don't know. Maybe if that is the case and he loses her, maybe he can link up with Cam and they can win that money.
I mean, I think that they should be separate for the better chance for them both to win. I think it's a better idea, though.
I hope Casey doesn't get injured until like very much later, because she's my last hope in my draft.
Liz. Fessy has an ego the size of the earth and it needs to be deflated so bad. Yes, it does. Oh my gosh, it does. This would be amazing. Liz says, how funny would it be if Mark Long came in next season and did a Fessy backpack? Yes, he needs to be humbled. Oh my God.
I love that.
People are so funny. So true. Okay, so Nicole says, I really want to root for Anissa, but she continues to prove these idiots right every season. I want her to proclaim her last season and come through whatever that'll be in the best shape of her life. Yes, I think she needs to go get in shape. think she needs to go get a mindset reset, because a lot of this is about training your mind to be that of a champion. She's trained her mind to believe that she's always going to lose right before the final. So she's going to be consistently making that happen. Like, that's just what is going to happen. Nani, she did something. She changed her fate. She may still go out before, and like maybe we're going to see this come up again, that she has to go back down there and defend it again and then go out. We might still see that for Nani. But so far, she's changed her mindset about like getting her gold skull and like getting to the final. So she has some work to do.
I think I'll say two things about that. First of all, I've been following Anissa on Instagram and stuff, and she's been like doing CrossFit and at the gym a lot. So I will say that. Secondly, I will say I'm excited for her to be on Challenge All-Stars, because regardless of how in shape she is, she's been in the game when the others haven't. So I think at least strategically, she's going to have an upper hand.
Yes, I do. It's a lot of it's about mindset. Even in sports, they have mindset training. They teach like runners what it feels like to cross the finish line. Like you visualize it in your mind before you make it actualized in real life. And so I think she needs to stop visualizing herself losing right before the final. I think that would be the most important mindset training that she needs to do. Mindset, then body, come back in amazing shape, because she has what it takes to get to the end. She doesn't have the chance to cross the finish line. She doesn't have what it takes there for that right now anymore. Okay, so if it was Nani versus Big T, what would the outcome have been? I think
that's hard to say.
Big T was pretty good, and I think Nani's done this one before. Big T got the momentum really quickly. I think that Big T might have beat Nani as well, but it would have been tighter.
Would have been a lot tighter, I think. I mean, that's tough, and I'm honestly glad that didn't happen.
Okay, sorry. Michelle, this is your jurisdiction. So no, Fexy is not funny, but Zach thinks he's funny. Did you see Zach, Nicole versus Jemmy going at it? Yeah, a little bit, but can you
yeah, I mean, we all I think I was messaging you guys about it. Yeah, the Cole's notes is Jemmy, who always is willing to like give a little troll online on Twitter. It's so funny. So someone posted about how Ashley, who used to be Zach's ex, like XXXX ago.
Oh, got married.
And Zach, both got married this weekend, but to different people, because Ashley got married to whoever she's with, and Zach and Jenna got married. And then Jemmy replies being like, I'm so glad he wasn't the groom at my girl Ashley's wedding because like she got an upgrade, like blah, 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 blah. Just like a classic. Says got an upgrade. He responds. It is just like, you could have taken the high road, Jemmy, but of course you had to be a piece of like garbage on the ground, like some really offensive thing. Like I don't remember what the insult was. So stupid. He insults her deeply by saying you could have taken the high road, but here's a worse insult. And then says, and by the way, I'm the one who got the upgrade. So now you're also insulting Ashley. Cool. But you're taking the high road. Awesome. And then she responded back. Oh no. And then Nicole responded being like, oh yeah. Nicole responds being like, don't worry about it, Zach. Like Jemmy's always sticking her face into things that like she has nothing to do with. Like she's so thirsty, like blah, blah, blah. And
you're like, wait, sorry, where did you come from, Nicole?
Jemmy responds to Nicole and says like, cool. Like, also, I'm not the one who like pretends to be a firefighter, but is actually a volunteer firefighter and isn't like, and pretends to be on the payroll and like blah, 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 blah. And like, but like, cool, do your thing. Like calls her out for not being a real firefighter. and response to Zach just being like, I will never take the high road when it comes to misogyny, but like, good for you and your upgrade. Congrats. And then responses to Nicole. So then Nicole responds being like, Laurel was at my graduation and so was this other person and like blah, 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 blah. And then Jenna chimes in being like, don't worry, Nicole, like what you do, even if it's volunteer is like such a good thing and like blah, blah, blah. And it's just a whole mess, but it's just really funny because like Zach is
the worst.
Zach is garbage. Like I would love like Zach and Fessy to have to like,
Hall brawl,
work together in a partnership and then be against each other and like also have to work together and like who
No, I don't want them to work together. I think I only want them in a hall brawl.
Yeah, and I think I don't want either of them on the show ever. Like I just don't want them around. I hate them both. It's hard to decide, but right now I'm just seeing Fessy more, so I hate him more. But I still will always hate Zach number one for sure. Like I don't know.
I find it so funny how like Zach couldn't like was just like he had two choices to engage and to not engage, and he chose the choice. Like I was like, why?
Yeah, where's that high road? Where's the high road? The high road is not engaging.
We're always fighting, and I'm like, something about what Jemmy says and or like what she knows like gets under your skin so much that you can't help yourself. Like, what is it? What is it really?
The truth.
Because like if somebody said that, and I bet you like Ashley probably didn't even get into that whole thing.
No.
Like she was probably like, I saw bits and pieces of it and whatever, but like I bet Ashley's just like this whatever, you guys, like who cares? Like you just got married. Like why would you care?
She's just happy she got out of that relationship with Zach all those years ago.
Definitely. She probably was like, oh my God.
Any woman in their right mind, if they spent like a few months with Zach, would be like, I've got to go.
Yeah, it's really, thank you. See you never, hopefully. Okay, so Natalie was saying, okay, now I know what she's talking about. Anthony from Big Brother 7, that's who I want on your Big Brother Canada podcast. Okay, I can try. I know that he was on Rob as a podcast tonight. He did, he was talking with Taryn, and I don't remember who the other person was after the episode. So I know that he's been doing some things. I don't know what they needed to promise him or whatnot to come on. So I'll see if I can finagle something. But I don't have any relationship with him, but we'll see if I can maybe get like, what's his name? If I can't remember his name, maybe I can't get him. He was on season 6. I forgot his name, so I can't get him then. I do talk with him on Instagram, though, so if I remember his name, maybe I can get him on. But I don't know Champagne or Poutine Poppy. Fessy's literally so in over his head. I hope he ends up making the finals, so just so you can get in last place. God, a girl can dream. Jose, we can dream about this. Ooh, okay. Natalie heard that Josh was at the reunion, was the worst at the reunion. He was involved in everything. Are we shocked? Are we surprised? Are we surprised? Oh, Liz says it's a sad place for Anissa. She's been here so often. It's a really hard headspace. Yes, it is, but that's what I'm saying. She's got to work on that. She has to work on that. ooh, but Anissa's exit hurt me more than Teresa's just because she's near the end of the challenge career. Can you guys elaborate? I didn't even really notice that, but I think that Anissa, well, she's going to be on the OG season, right? So
Yeah, and Teresa's never coming back.
Yeah.
And also, Anissa was able to be like, this is more important than me. Whereas Teresa was actually more hurt for herself. And I found Teresa's a bit more sad in that way. Like, I find Anissa can bounce back from anything. So I felt a little bit less sad because I know that, like, she is strong enough to get through it. And also that, like, she's proud of what she did. She's still proud of herself.
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. She still did a pretty damn good job, despite all these people really not being her cheerleader or on her side. Like, if she had someone a little bit more motivating, and like if the way that CT was treating Big T when they were in partnership, she had something like that, I think that she probably would start working out at, like, even while they're at the house and whatnot. Like, I think she would be trying a little bit harder. And so, yeah, I think she recognized where she is and what she would need to do to come back. I don't think she's going to come back without at least changing her physical abilities and hopefully her mindset at the same time. And maybe she's going to get the mindset boost from the OG season because people will be respecting her in a different way there. She's not going to have all these newbies being like, oh, who are you? You're old. Like, get you out of here. You suck. So that will be exciting. This reiterating what we were saying, but Liz is like, CT has grown some, at least grown some, because CT back in the day would have beat his arse down. I wouldn't have cared. I know I'm a pacifist. I don't really like people fighting, but I was like, I just wanted him to punch him so badly. Like, I just wanted him to just get smacked. And just like, I wanted to hear that sound. I wanted to see Fessy fall. Like, and I don't want fighting to happen. And I was just like, I wanted this. So maybe they're going to be in that, Fessy's going to be in that Big Brother knockout fight thing. Maybe he'll get beat down. Ooh, that's exciting. Okay, maybe. This is a good comment. So Jose says, although I love Leroy, which we all do, I personally wouldn't love to watch Casey win. I know she's so meh. She hasn't really been on this much this season. I would love Leroy to win with Nany. I wouldn't mind a Nany Leroy win. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That would be like
the
go full circle.
Oh, I would actually cry. I think I'll cry anyway if Leroy wins, but if he was with Nany, I mean, that would only happen if Casey gets hurt and isn't eligible, and Cam has some sort of fuck up in the final or something happens. Nany could win.
Was it Nany ahead of Cam or no, she was right behind Cam in the mini final? I can't remember. She was right behind her or in front of her?
No, I think she was ahead. She was near the front, but I mean, like, Nany isn't as good with puzzles, I think, compared to Cam. So I think it really just depends on like the final, what it is.
Yeah. So the reason why I was hesitant because I just didn't really see a world where they would win together. But if they did, I think that would be pretty epic. They would both be so happy for each other. Like, that's like a 10-year long journey for them to win $1 million. Like, I got goosebumps with how like epic that would be. So, I mean, that's a dream. I don't think that that's going to happen, but we don't actually know. It very well could be. And it would be something I'd like to see. Okay, only a few more questions left or comments. So how do we feel about Nany's comment about Fessy hiring a hitman rather than CT? It felt like she was throwing shade towards him. Well, I agreed with her statement that Fessy's he's a wimp. He pretends like he's like a big dude that can like handle his shit. And CT's street. Like, he's going to take care of the business himself. He's not going to hire someone else to do his dirty work. So I agreed with her, and like I think it was full shade.
I think it was a really great like comparison. I think, and she was just like, okay, but here's the deal. Like, telling Amber, this young girl, like, but just so you know, like, Fessy's the kind of guy that like is gonna hire a hitman, and CT, he's gonna deal with it himself. And like, that's so real. That is the difference between them.
Yeah.
I love it. So maybe there'll also be an actual twist to this stupid skull part of the game. I mean, it's just going to be another elimination. I don't know. I don't think there's going to be another twist. Adrian's also annoyed with the season about the skulls. Why start off the season with only 10 skulls when they are occupied? The limbs, aren't they done yet? Like, I know, aren't they done yet? So that's what I'm saying. I just want the skulls to have been the change in the game. Make them only 3 skulls. I'm cool with that. I'm cool, but I want the skulls to change the game, personally. All right. Ooh. Zach's girlfriend's also, she's pregnant already? Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. She's super pregs.
I'll give you a spoiler right now.
Okay, tell me the spoilers, and then I'll see what last questions we got.
Everyone is pregnant.
Oh, really?
Like,
is that it?
All of my friends that are married, they like a COVID, they're pregnant.
Oh, that's true, right? Everybody just like canoodling.
Jen is pregnant too.
I saw that for sure.
Yeah.
So going back to Anissa Big T, if you're going to be on the challenge, you should be able to do a minimum of 3 to 5 miles, no problem. If you can't, then we have a problem. Any thoughts? We agree. Like, I wouldn't be going on on Survivor without like practicing deep water diving, like, and untying hooks underwater. Like, I would be doing that training, and I would be doing CrossFit, and I would be practicing standing on like a peg. Like, like I would be doing these things if I was going on Survivor. You're going on the challenge. Anissa, you know you're going to have to run. You know that you're going to have to work with people. You know that they're going to be coming for you, say that you're not going to be a good partner. Do something that you can have in your own control to change that. So yes, I agree with you 100%, Jose. Do you guys any thoughts there?
I agree.
Agree. And it irks me so much so the disrespect sometimes the newer challengers have for the OGs. Heck, Anissa was the first bisexual woman of color on a reality show. That's insane, actually. At one time, she had the most elimination wins. Absolutely. And they don't do their homework, and that's why they don't have any respect. They just know the seasons that they're on, and they don't care about who came before them. And so that's why there is no respect at all. See you later, Liz. Catch you tomorrow. See, yes, Anissa just needs to be in a bit more shape. Exactly. She shouldn't be jogging for 5 minutes and get gassed out. That's just like a no. Okay. Adrian watched it back. And so update, just watch when Big T won her elimination. Just kissed her on her cheek.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Oh, it's Nicole.
Still a kiss. Not a 5-pointer kiss.
Sorry, Nicole. Someone brought up the drama. Nicole. I know. But we all live for Jemmy. We want to give Jemmy a moment here. Okay, that's pretty much it. Oh, it was Asia. Yes, he did talk with Asia. I will be watching that obviously right after this because they're my peoples. Okay, so next week, the last thing I want to talk about next week is called Most Wanted Man. So who is the most wanted man, would you say, with the last 5 men that are left in the game? Fessy is not the most wanted man anymore. Like, I don't think so, because right now nobody seems to want him. So Nani doesn't want him for sure. I don't know if Cam wants him because she's already commented on the guy, like how he is left. So Leroy is the most wanted man? Either
It's Leroy because maybe if something happens with Casey, everyone wants him, or who knows? Maybe it's Leroy. But it also could be a play, and it could be Fessy thinks he's the most wanted man, but really nobody wants him. Like maybe it's that. Like, you know,
I feel like it's that because there's no one that's like, this whole episode was talking about how like even Fessy said that like, oh, like CT was saying he was going to get stolen like every week. No one's really going after those guys, so I feel like it's it
has to be Leroy, because you're right though, CT is not the most wanted man. Corey, unless they're being sarcastic there, he is the least wanted man there. So no, it's not Kyle. It has to be Leroy. It has to be that Casey is out at the daily. That's what it seems like, and everybody wants Leroy as their partner.
We'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. Part of me thinks that maybe maybe she's okay and then gets hurt later on in the final or something. Maybe she does. I found it hard to really tell who specifically it was that was screaming, that was like, ah. So I don't know. But if that happens, as much as I really like their partnership, because I think it would solidify Leroy as a champ, I would be ecstatic to see someone less boring as a partner.
Yes. Okay, Adrian, just to address this. So Adrian says that they have some tea on the final results of the season, but I'll hold off until when we talked about it. Absolutely. So no, we don't want actually any real spoilers. Like I think everybody saw Casey in the wheelchair like many months ago. So we knew that she got injured somehow. And so it's kind of like how they've showed us clips of like eliminations and stuff like that in advance that we're kind of piecing it together. We don't fully know what happened, so we don't want to know what actually happens. There's some things that we'll speculate about with like a little piece of information, but we would rather not know the actual outcome so that we could just be surprised and have our honest reactions to how the season's going down. So thank you for holding off, Adrian. We much appreciate it. And sorry that you know the tea and that you want to share it, because like I'd probably want to share it with everybody too, but we don't want to know. Thank you. So that's pretty much everything other than Fessy inviting John Party. He might beat John Party because John Party's no.
John Party is tall and he has boxed.
Okay.
From my knowledge.
And he plays poker. I think he'd just be smarter.
Yeah.
Just better, just smarter. So okay, fine. I'm just thinking that he just size-wise, Fessy would be bigger than John Party.
I think he is bigger for sure. Like bulky.
Mm-hmm. That's all we got for you today. So do you guys have anything left to say? No?
No.
My last thing is if you have other accounts or whatever, I'm doing a little contest or like a little competition. So when you subscribe to Realness with 3 S's and send me a screenshot, I'm going to put you in a draw for when it gets to 1,000. I am going to do a draw for a $100 gift certificate to Amazon. And if you're in the States, it'll be $100 US Amazon. Like it'll be Amazon US. If you're in Canada and you don't want that money, want it as a gift card, I'll give it to you in cash. So I can email transfer it to you. So if you have a friend or you have another account, just go subscribe to Realness with 3 S's and get in that draw so we can have this draw like at the end. Like, wouldn't that be awesome if I could do the draw with 1,000 subscribers at the end of the season? I think that'd be amazing and give somebody $100. So let's just make that happen. Send me the screenshot, put you in the draw. I'll do the draw live for you guys. I'll stream it. Like, let's just make that happen. So that's all I've got. Do you guys have anything else to share?
Nah, I mean, I'm excited to get to this final, and I don't know, man. Shit's getting.
I just want to know what happens. So let's get there. Jeez Louise. Like, there's still like 6 episodes left. Like, come on. Okay, love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us, and sayonara. See you later.